There is one smart home product that I regret leaving behind. When I moved house, I asked the guy, do you want to buy my Tado radiator thermostats and boiler controller because I haven't got time to remove them, and he said yes. Ever since then, at the new house, I've been using my AQARA radiator thermostats, and they are awesome. They will take some beating because I love them. However, there is one thing my missus says on a regular basis.
Why did you steal my preciouses?
That's how she talks, and yes, we are going to sue the Lord of the Rings franchise. You see, the Tado system is just easier. It's not only easier, it's custom designed specifically for this purpose because Tado, all of their money comes from these things. All they want to do is either heat or cool your house. That is their sole focus, and they are really good at it. It also does a lot more things for you. You don't have to set up lots of automations because this thing is doing everything out of the box already. And their latest products are all matter over thread. That's really important. You mean you don't know what matter over thread? Listen, matter over thread means that it works with Apple HomeKit, Google Home, Home Assistant, and Amazon Alexa, all entirely locally and cloud-free without the need of an internet connection. And this was Tado's only previous flaw. The new Tado X products connect directly to Apple HomeKit via a HomePod Mini, and you don't even need to involve Tado at all if you don't want to, which is a really bold move on behalf of that company. The same is true of Home Assistant. If you have a thread border router for Home Assistant, this thing will connect directly to it. And this is more surprising than Indiana Jones chasing the Ark of the Covenant for literally no reason. Alright mate, you didn't need to be here. You know, if you just stayed in the pub, they would have found the Ark, opened it, and died. Your whole adventure was pointless. But more importantly are the cost-saving implications of these devices. Today's video is all about the amazing things that these things do straight out of the box without you having to do anything at all that will immediately save you up to 340 quid a year. What? Thanks to Tado for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their new range of products that they're calling X. Because God forbid a product be released in 2024 that doesn't have an X in the title.
Sponsorship cancelled. Sponsorship cancelled. Sponsorship cancelled.
Today I'm not just looking at the radiator thermostats, which you can actually install just on their own, but I'm also looking at their boiler controller, which gives you a more complete holistic setup, and I do recommend you buy it, and I'll explain why in a moment. But first of all, Tado reckon that I, Paul Hibbert, can actually personally wire this thing into my boiler without the use of a professional. That doesn't sound like me.
Get in! Get in! Get in!
Oh, I hate everything. So stressful. Stop dropping that, you prick!
Oh, I know she's going to come back to no boiler.
Oh, there's so little space. My back is cramping up and I've dropped it again!
Sponsorship cancelled. Sponsorship cancelled.
And if you buy the Tado thermostat and boiler controller, the boiler controller has a thread border router already built in, which means you wouldn't need to buy a thread border router even if you don't already have one, which you probably do. Right, time to find out if Tado were right to trust my DIY skills. On to beam down. So the first thing I should probably state before you get started is you didn't ought to be faffing around with electricity if you're, I don't know, unqualified or drunk or, I don't know, really ill. Because it's dangerous. You don't want to be making stupid mistakes, so just be super careful, always use a multimeter, don't do it at all if you don't know what you're doing, get somebody else to do it. I half know what I'm doing, so I'm going to do it anyway. So I should point out, it's got open therm. This is kind of important. See here? Open therm connection. Open therm means that your boiler can actually react to like weather changes outside and that sort of thing. It's a bit more advanced than simple on-off technology. And if you can get a thermostat that supports it, it will save you a whole load of money with your heating. So really important. Open therm. So first thing, switch the boiler off. That's that one. Heard it go off. Open your boiler. Oh yeah, that's always a good idea, isn't it? get in there. I'm going to do this off camera because I'm frightened. Actually, a piece of piss. Their wire there. Wire diagram looks exactly the same. Their wire. You just slide it into the right holes. Make sure the electric's off. Put it in the right holes. Job done. So Tado have asked me to stick some stickers on here, and to be honest, if you don't know what colours these things are, you probably shouldn't be doing this. But they're all now labelled up anyway. I'm going to follow the app. It really is. I've just followed it through. It's a case of getting these into the right ones of these, and then attaching this to the wall and putting it all back together again. It's kind of job done, so let's just skip to the end.
I think I know just what we need.
To be completely fair to Tado, if you were able to turn the electric off to your boiler and you're confident you've done that, it really is a case of just plugging the wires into the right holes. And unless you're colourblind, you aren't going to get that wrong. I've said all this, I haven't turned it on yet. Hi. Hello. Hello, Paul from the distant future here. You can tell from all the flying cars. I'm editing this video and I'm thinking I haven't explained to people why you might actually want to buy the boiler wireless receiver that I've installed in the cupboard when you don't actually need it for the thermostatic radiator valves to work. You could install the radiator valves without that thing, so why buy one? You could install the radiator valves and immediately start saving money by using schedules. You could use the radiator valves to automatically save you money when a window is open and they automatically turn the heating off to that room. You could use it to save money when you leave the house and geofencing picks up you've left the house and turns the radiator valves off. They can do all those things, they don't need the thing in the cupboard. The reason you might want the thing in the cupboard is because that is connected to your thermostat, the main thermostat for the house. If you've got a Honeywell or some old-fashioned thermostat, and that thing has told the boiler is warm enough in the entrance hall to my house, turn the boiler off, these radiator thermostats won't be able to heat the room you're in. They can limit the temperature of the room, but they can't call to the boiler and say, hey boiler, please heat this radiator. You might want that, because if you're sat in your bed and you're thinking, it's cold in here, I don't want to have to get up and switch the boiler on by going off to the thermostat in the hallway. You could talk to your voice assistant and get it to control the boiler cupboard thing, to make that thing come on so the boiler heats up and the radiator will do its thing. So they are worth buying, and I would recommend buying one because it's really, really cool. It completes the setup, and without it, you only really are experiencing half the experience. And setting up routines for this thing is super, super easy. Paul from the past, can you take the boys and girls through that?
Mate, I'm so ill.
Yep. Yeah, so am I, mate. It's, spoiler alert, it turns into sinusitis, and then you end up with it for ages.
Yeah, all right, yeah, fine, I'll do it. Whatever.
Just get on with it, mate. Yeah. Thanks, Paul from the past. Bit of a dick. So it's as simple as I really am ill. It's as simple as going into settings, and then smart schedule, and then picking the room that you want to set a schedule for. So we'll go for the bedroom there, and then you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you can just alter them individually, or you can copy them. So once I've created a block, so if we go and adjust one of the existing blocks, midnight to 7 AM, I can set the temperature to whatever it was I want the temperature to be. And you can add time blocks, and you can adjust time blocks. So you can just change the time blocks to be from 7 till 10, to be from 10 till 10, for example. And you'll just get different shaped time blocks. So it's really, really, really easy to use. And once I'm happy with Monday, I can copy it, and then paste it down into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just like that. And then you can go and do another room. So every room, smart scheduling is super, super straightforward. Now you might be thinking, can these devices really save me £340 a year, or is this YouTube bollocks? Let me put on a lab coat and glasses so you'll believe me. According to the Fraunhofer Institute, which is about as reputable as it gets for this sort of thing, you could save up to 28% a year on your energy heating. And that is the equivalent of £340 for the average UK household. Running up your screen right now is my ChatGPT transcript, so you can see for yourself exactly where this information came from. I asked ChatGPT to cite its sources, and it did kind of poke and prod a bit to make sure that I was getting actual proper information and not just gobbledygook. So, entirely unbiased source of information told us it's 28% saving a year, and 28% saving a year is 340 quid for the average UK household. Now, you can pause the video and read the ChatGPT transcript for yourself, but I shall remind you I am wearing a lab coat. So in my testing, the geofencing worked really well across both my phone and my wife's phone. You just install the app on both and it waits until you've both left the house before turning the heating off. And it actually automatically turns the heating on before you arrive home. The algorithm is really clever. It kind of figures out you're approaching home, I should probably turn the heating on. It's brilliant. Hello. Paul from the distant future again. He forgot to tell you, actually, that this is a paid-for service. You need a subscription if you want it to automatically turn off the heating whenever you leave the house, and automatically turn off the heating if a window is detected as being open. What you don't have to pay for, and this is important, is the reminders. You get a little reminder on your phone that says, you have left the house, do you want to turn the heating off? You just say yes. And you get a little reminder that says, there is a window open, do you want to turn the heating off? Me personally, I'd rather rely on the reminder anyway and don't feel the need to pay for a subscription. But if you're a big automation head, you might want to pay for it, and so it's worth mentioning, there is a subscription to do that. It's the end of it. I'll let him carry on. The radiator thermostats are bizarrely silent. I mean, I got used to the AQARA E1s. They were quite noisy, but I'm able to sleep through those. The Tado radiator thermostats, I can't even hear them.
I don't know, just the heating controls. I heard more noise from the radiator than I did from the actual thermostatic valve itself. That is really cool. That's incredibly quiet.
The app is really nicely laid out. It doesn't matter if you're an old lady or if you're really into tech. You'll find this quite appealing and very, very easy to use. It's kind of very hands-off anyway. You won't find yourself opening the app very often. And it contains the sorts of things you'd expect to see, such as child lock, for example, so that kids can't just wander up and start twiddling with the thermostat and make changes to it. The other thing I'll note on that is that the AQARA E1s, I found it quite easy to kind of open up and take the batteries out, which kids might do. These, not so much. You do actually have to have adult-sized hands to get these things to turn and get the batteries out. The batteries are also rechargeable. It's the end cap is the battery. I don't know if this is genius or not. It means that you would have to go to Tado to replace the batteries if anything goes wrong with them, but I mean, that's pretty cool that you can kind of just take the end cap off, charge it up, put it back on again. I think I just the second thought of one potential issue, and that is if you don't have a spare replacement cap, then you can't control the radiator until you have finished charging that cap. Maybe Tado could sell replacement caps, I don't know. If they do, it's written here. Which brings us on to what's wrong with it, and as usual, the elephant in the room. There isn't one. So this is as perfect as a setup as I think you can get, apart from what I've just mentioned. The only other thing I'll say is that they aren't compatible with their previous Tado products. If you're thinking, I've got the previous Tado stuff, I already have a controller in the boiler, can I just get the radiator thermostats? Sadly, they can't talk to each other because it's thread-based, the new stuff, and the old stuff wasn't. That's it! I normally finish on a very scripted summary where I've kind of thought all this through, but you know what? I want to speak from the heart. If I was not given these things for free, I would buy them. They are that good. If my friend had got them and I went round and I started just playing around with the app and twiddling the little knobs and... Disgusting! I would very quickly decide I want this because it is a premium feel from start to finish. Everything is really well thought out, everything communicates the way it is supposed to, and everything is solidly built. With all that said, all that's left to do is to thank these incredible people running up your screen. They're my patrons from Patreon, and without them, I wouldn't be doing this for a living. I'm thanking one every week. This week, I'm actually going to thank all of my recent patrons. I keep forgetting, you know, I should probably thank every single person that comes to me individually. So they are Andy, Alex, Aaron, and Sam. Thank you, guys. Without you, as I say, I wouldn't be able to do this. If you want to be like these people or those people, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal. And either way, I would genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks, my X's, my Threads, my Instagrams, my TikToks. Come and hang out there and be best friends. See you next time. If I'm not dead. So in my testing, I found the geofencing worked really well. You can set that up for more than one phone across your...